Every once in a while, an athlete at the top of the world lets the curtain slip just enough for us to see the human being underneath the trophies. And when that happens, it doesn't just surprise everyone. It changes everything we thought we understood about greatness. That's exactly what happened when the world's #1 female golfer opened up in a way nobody predicted. There was no drama, no scandal, no sudden career change. Instead, she revealed something far more intimate, something that hit millions of fans straight in the heart. Because when someone so dominant, so young, and so focused suddenly becomes vulnerable, the world pays attention. It wasn't a meltdown. It wasn't a retirement hint. It wasn't even frustration. What she said was deeper, quieter, and more emotional than anything people expected. It was the kind of honesty you don't usually hear from someone with her level of fame, pressure, and spotlight. She spoke with the tone of someone who needed to finally let people see the weight she carries every single day. And the moment she said it, social media froze. Fans replayed the clip over and over, not because it was shocking in a dramatic way, but because it was shocking in a human way. Imagine the #1 golfer in the world, a superstar who has earned more money than most athletes her age could dream of, admitting something so relatable, so simple, yet so profound, that it left the entire golf community in silence. What she revealed didn't erase her success, but it changed the way people see her. It changed the way people understand the sacrifices behind her career. And it made one thing clear: even the most brilliant talents on earth can feel like outsiders, dreamers, or even homesick kids in a world that demands perfection. So let's talk about the moment that shook fans. Not because it was explosive, but because it was real. And I promise you, what she shared goes much deeper than the headlines. It started with a simple question during a Golf Channel interview. A question that seemed harmless on the surface, something routine that players answer every week. But her response wasn't routine. It wasn't polished. It wasn't the kind of answer athletes give to keep everything clean and professional. She was asked what it felt like to be home in Thailand, to feel like herself again. And instead of giving a short answer about rest and recharging, she said something that cut through the noise.
On work, but after going back to Thailand, I don't really think about we still doing work. So I was just playing with my dogs, have fun with tracing my younger sister. Had a joke with my mom and dad, which is kind of really nice of our mindset to off golf.
No matter where she stays or how long she's been there, in less than 30 seconds, she revealed a truth that international athletes rarely dare to express. The truth that no amount of prize money, trophies, or world rankings can replace the feeling of home. Fans weren't expecting that. Analysts weren't expecting that. The LPGA world certainly wasn't expecting that. Because people assume that when you're #1, everything in your life must feel perfect. But that's what made the moment so powerful. She made it clear that success doesn't erase loneliness. It doesn't erase distance. It doesn't erase the ache of being thousands of miles away from the people who raised you. And as she described the warmth of being back in Thailand, playing with her dogs, chasing her sister around the house, joking with her parents, you could almost feel her shoulders drop, like she had been holding that inside for a long time. It wasn't drama. It wasn't negativity. It was honesty. And that honesty captured the entire golf world in seconds. But to understand why this moment mattered so much, you have to understand where her story began. Long before she became the world's #1 golfer, she was a kid from Thailand who stepped into the world of competitive golf before she even understood the magnitude of what she was doing. At 14 years old, an age when most teenagers are worried about school, hanging out with friends, or figuring out what hobbies they like, she made history. She became the youngest winner of a professional golf tournament ever recorded. That moment made headlines around the world, but behind those headlines was a young girl who had no idea how much her life had just changed. While other kids were experiencing their first school dances, their first friendships, and their first taste of independence, she was stepping into hotel rooms, practice ranges, and press conferences. She was swapping normal teenage memories for trophies, travel, and expectations. She even jokes today about how she would have chosen whatever major in university was the easiest to finish. Not because she didn't care about education, but because she wanted the one thing she missed the most: a normal young adult life. The late-night conversations, the silly adventures, the feeling of being carefree. She sacrificed that long before she understood what it would cost her. People see her dominance now and assume she had a clear path. But prodigies carry burdens that nobody else sees. When you're winning at 14, you're not just talented, you're responsible. She had to grow up fast, emotionally and mentally, because the world wasn't going to treat her like a child anymore. And that decision, to leave childhood behind for the sake of her dream, set the tone for everything that came next. But her sacrifices didn't end there, not even close. When she moved to the United States for tournaments and training, the world assumed she was living every golfer's fantasy. A house in Dallas, access to the best facilities, exposure to every opportunity a young star could want. But what people didn't see was the reality that came with it. Living in the US meant stepping into a world that never paused. Every week brought a new airport, a new hotel, a new practice schedule, and a new level of pressure. It meant smiling through interviews, performing under the weight of expectations, and pretending that everything felt normal, even when nothing did. For her, life in America isn't home. It's a workplace. She's not waking up in her childhood bedroom. She's not hearing familiar voices calling her name. She's not surrounded by the smells, sights, and rhythms of Thailand. Instead, she wakes up knowing that every hour of her day is tied to golf. Every minute is connected to performance, preparation, discipline, or recovery. And the more she opened up, the clearer it became. It's not that she dislikes America. It's that America is where she works. Thailand is where she lives. Thailand is where she feels human. It's rare for a superstar to admit this so plainly, especially someone with her level of success, but she wasn't done revealing the deeper truth behind her life and her journey, because what drives her isn't fame or fortune or global recognition. It's something far more powerful. When she speaks about her family, the entire tone of her voice changes. Her eyes soften, her words slow down. There's a sense of weight and responsibility behind every sentence, and that's because her family isn't just her support system. They are the reason she chose this life. She once said, "There are a lot of people behind me, so I can't give up." It wasn't a dramatic statement. It was a simple truth. She became a professional golfer, not to chase fame, but to take care of the people who raised her. Her mother, her father, her younger sister. They are her foundation. They are her motivation. They are her heartbeat. The millions she earns on the LPGA Tour don't go toward a flashy lifestyle or unnecessary luxuries. Instead, she uses that money to support her family back in Thailand, to make sure they're comfortable, to repay them for the sacrifices they made so she could chase her dream. She doesn't talk about this often. She doesn't brag about it. But when you listen closely, you can hear the emotional weight in her voice. She plays for them. Every round, every swing, every tournament, every victory is tied to the people waiting for her back home. And that responsibility, the quiet, powerful kind, is something most fans never realized she carried. But her story doesn't end with pressure or duty. There's another side of her that fans absolutely adore, a side that makes her even more relatable and lovable. For someone who has accomplished so much at such a young age, she remains unbelievably grounded. The world calls her the #1 golfer, but she describes herself as someone who still feels like a goofy kid half the time. One of her most charming moments came after she won the biggest prize in women's golf history, a jaw-dropping $4 million at the CME Group Tour Championship. You would think she'd talk about celebrations, luxury, or excitement. But instead, she started laughing about how shockingly expensive the Disney tickets were when she visited Disney World. That moment went viral, not because she made a joke, but because it reminded everyone that beneath the world-class talent is someone who worries about the exact same things regular people do. She's the kind of champion who can handle pressure on the course and still complain about theme park costs like a normal 22-year-old. She also admits she's sometimes a 5-year-old doing something stupid as always. The fans love that. They love that she's unmatched on the course but still playful, silly, and fun off of it. She's not hiding behind a polished media persona. She's showing the world exactly who she is, mistakes, jokes, innocence, and all. But even with all this charm, there's one place where the real, unfiltered version of her comes alive more than anywhere else. And that place is home. When she talks about Thailand, there's a warmth in her voice that doesn't appear in any other context. It's not just where she was born, it's where she feels whole. She describes it as the place where everything makes sense, where the noise of her career fades into the background, and where she can simply exist without pressure. She cherishes the moments with her family, the playful wrestling with her younger sister, the lighthearted jokes with her parents, the comfort of sitting with her dogs as if they've been waiting for her all year. Those moments reset her mind. They remind her of who she was before the world labeled her a prodigy, a champion, or a phenomenon. She even bought a Mercedes-Benz in Thailand because that's where she truly lives in her heart. Not in hotel rooms, not in training centers, not in Dallas. Thailand is the place where she can finally breathe. And that connection to her homeland isn't a weakness. It's her strength. It's what fuels her. It's what keeps her grounded as the world around her grows louder, faster, and more demanding. But her emotional revelation raised a question that fans needed answered. What does this mean for her future? The moment she opened up, some people immediately wondered if she was hinting at retirement, stepping back, or changing her plans. But she made it absolutely clear. She's not going anywhere. She's still competing at the highest level. She's still racking up wins. She's still representing Thailand globally. She's still laser-focused on her career. Nothing in her professional life is changing. What is changing is her willingness to let people see the emotional reality behind her journey. She's finally allowing fans to understand the sacrifices she's made since childhood, the constant travel, the relentless pressure, the loneliness of being away from home, the responsibility she carries for her family. Opening up doesn't mean she's weaker. It actually makes her stronger. Because when you know your purpose, when you understand your why, you become more resilient than ever. Every shot, every round, every tournament becomes another step toward the dream she's chasing for her family. She's not slowing down. She's not stepping back. She's becoming more human and more powerful than ever. Her story resonates because it speaks to a truth everyone understands. You can be wildly successful and still feel homesick. You can achieve greatness and still crave the comfort of familiar voices. You can dominate your field and still long for moments of laughter with the people who matter most. She reminded the world that feeling vulnerable isn't a flaw, it's human. That being open about your emotions doesn't diminish your achievements, it elevates them. And that dreaming big doesn't require you to forget where you came from. Her authenticity is what makes her unforgettable. In a world where many athletes hide behind scripted answers, she lets people see her true personality, her humor, her innocence, her honesty, her love for her family. She's not just a champion. She's a reminder that success and humanity can coexist beautifully. So the next time you watch her on the LPGA Tour, remember this. You're not just witnessing a dominant golfer. You're witnessing someone who plays every round with her family in mind. Someone who carries her homeland in her heart every step of the way. Someone who balances global fame with the simple desire to be with the people she loves. Her revelation wasn't dramatic. It wasn't controversial. It was something far more profound. It was the truth. A truth that shows that even when you're number one in the world, you can still be a person with fears, emotions, and a longing for home. She's not quitting. She's not walking away. She's simply reminding the world that being human doesn't stop when you become great. If anything, it becomes even more important. And that is why her honesty has touched millions. Because in her story, people don't just see a golfer, they see themselves.